Hey there, Puentistas. Welcome back. I got a week 5 overview video for you so you can know what's going on this week. Most of you have already turned in your remembered event essay. No, we're waiting on a few to trickle in. Keep in touch with me. Again, your success is my number one goal here, but we got to keep on collaborating to make sure we're making that progress. So, remember, you might see other things in other parts of Canvas. The only place you really need to look for what's going on and when things are due are in the weekly modules. Okay, you can of course also hit the syllabus tab. You can look at my schedule there, and that's something that we're sticking to pretty tightly at this point. Anything changes, I'm going to let you know. I'm not foreseeing anything as of yet. Jumping into week 5. Once again, start with this overview guy right here. Shoot, I should open it in a new tab. So let's talk about what we're going to be doing. We're going to be learning this week about how to build effective interviewing questions. Remember, that's one of the 2 key components of your profile essay. One being that interview, the other one being an observation of some place / activity related to what the subject of your profile is. The possibilities are virtually endless. You think of a topic, there's a good probability that somebody in one of my classes has written on it. I really encourage you to follow your interests on this and go after something that you are really interested in. So, without further ado, coming up on Wednesday, um, I'm asking you to preview, read, and annotate a short story by Kathleen Alcala called Amalia. And it's an interesting little story. I'm not going to give you too many spoilers, but it's about the relationship of us to different generations of our family and how we deal with those that have come before us and those who have passed. And I really don't want to say more than that because, I mean, you know me, I'm an anti-spoiler guy. That's not my thing. And, whether it's a movie or something as equally as exciting as my English 1A class, that suspense is what keeps us going. So, you've got that. You've got a video that I made talking about ways to build interview questions. Now, not all interview questions are the same, right? There are ways you can structure them to really pull information out of people, to make them dig deep. And it's all about not feeding them possible answers when you get right down to it. I've also asked you to preview, read, and annotate English Comp 1, listening to sources, talking to sources. Now that is our open source online textbook. Now if you click right here, it'll open it up. You can't see that part of the page, but trust me, it's there. I'm going to go ahead and hit that link. And it's some more information about how to incorporate outside sources. Now, the one thing I want you to keep in mind here is that when you are incorporating that interview information, there could be some times where that information is really bland, and you just want to summarize or paraphrase it, put it into your own words, but preserve the ideas. But there are other times where there's something about the way the person, phrases it that is just so good, just so sharp on you that you're like, I want to preserve that language. That's given me something special. I think that's something I want to pass on. Now, finally, remember, you're going to post your week 5 comments and discussion by Wednesday, 9/16 at 11:59 p.m. And for this week, we're going to be talking about the role of family in some of the readings we've been doing out of the Norton Anthology of Latinx American Lit. Works by Lorna de Cervantes, Demetria Martinez, and Kathleen Alcala. Is my pronunciation terrible? I'll take pointers. I always want to get a little bit better. I'm a language nerd that way. Let me know. Coming up on Saturday, once again, you should be getting used to this rhythm. You're going to make 2 replies to 2 different people based on this week's discussion. And I'm going to ask you to preview, read, and annotate the profile essay by John T. Edge. I'm not leaving till I eat this thing. You can download it, put it into a Microsoft Word document, and then use those commentary buttons and those highlighting features and stuff like that to really dig into it. This is another profile essay, and I'm going to let you know it's a professional one. It was published in a magazine at first about Southern food. I'm going to give you a little spoiler alert on this one. This is a profile essay about a food writer who, for the very first time, is going to eat Pickle's pig lips. Now, I'm just going to say, we all have feelings about pork. Most of them are very strong and filled with love. Would you eat a pickled pig's lip? I don't know, but you'll certainly want to read about this because it's a great profile essay that's very vivid. I could talk more about that, but I think what's going to be more important for me to do is to jump back to the module. I'm going to open a new tab and jump into that tab. And here we go, looking at this. Essay 2, the profile. I put the assignment sheet back there again for you to look at. Come on, buddy. Right here, you're going to realize you can refresh yourself with the idea that it's 4 pages on a person, place, or activity that you find fascinating. You need to have an observation of your subject, include the observations in your essay, and you also have to include an interview with someone relevant to that subject. And again, the last stop, which is about funeral home, and I'm not leaving till I eat this thing, are both really good. One of the things I want to like emphasize at this point is that, for our remembered event, we talked about how to make it vivid and immersive and how to make it pop, right? How to really like plunge people into that writing. A lot of those same techniques we're going to keep using as we move into the profile essay. Like, the remembered event was a kind of narrative with a beginning, a struggle, and an ending and a learning moment. In a way, the profile essay is very similar. It's got a beginning, it's got a struggle of you learning and trying to understand something, and it's got you on the other side with a learning moment. Sometimes we can call the profile a narrative of discovery. I think that feels really good. And it's also a lot like journalism too. You're investigating something. But sensory detailing, those description words for senses, super important. Comparing, similes, metaphors, personification, also really important. Dialoguing, right? That back and forth of people talking to each other, especially you and the interviewees, it's going to be really, really important too. And again, whether you summarize or use direct quotations is really important. There's going to be a lot of stuff in your interview. This is going to be kind of like filler stuff. You don't have to put every line into your essay. Sometimes they'll be afraid they're not going to get to the page minimum, and they'll be like, so I sat down with my interviewee. Thank you for meeting with me, I said. My interviewee said, oh, it's no problem. I'm happy to be here. So should we start the interview now, I asked. Yes, my interviewee said. I am ready! Exclamation point. No, get to the good stuff, right? Put the best stuff in. Lay that stuff in and see how far you go before you do that. So what this means is you've got to plan ahead with a tiny little bit of an outline, or at least like a bullet list of the stuff that you think is really good. Finally, naming specific names for places and people and things. That's going to make your profile essay pop as well. All right, so let's see if I can find that other tab. Going back here. Whoa, wrong class. Okay. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. One more time. Here's my video about building strong interview questions. Very helpful. Read it, view it, and enjoy it. And again, here are 2 professional level essays. They're kind of like the high bar of how a profile essay looks. Something we should aspire to. But nobody's work is going to start off like that. I'm also going to give you some examples done by students in earlier sections of my class. So you kind of get an idea of, okay, this is what like a good student version of this looks like. So be on the lookout for that. If you want them earlier, let me know. I'd be more than happy to shoot them to you. Now, going down here to week 5. Oh, look. Forgot to put it in student view so you get to see all this stuff. If it doesn't have a green circle next to it, you don't need to worry about it. So let's just do this. Okay. Discussion, culture, language, and family. So here, I've kind of split your difference. I'm asking you to split your commentary 75 words on part 1 and roughly 75 words on part 2. That means you're looking about 7 to 10 sentences. For the first part, I'm asking you to write down a strong line from the text, something that really, really sticks out to you. The first question is about the relationship between language and family and refugeeship. And it's asking you, hey, do you connect to this or is it different for you? And then we've got the next poem, Fragments, that uses both English and Spanish. And I think it's an amazing poem. And I get a lot out of it. Even as I'm learning Spanish and getting better at it, it makes me think about how we use some languages for some kinds of contexts and some kinds of situations with some kinds of audiences and other kinds of language and other complete languages in other contexts and situations. And it's complicated, but it's the weave of communication that we have in this very diverse society in America. And it's worth us, thinking about so we get better at our code switching. And I'm asking about also the emotional content that comes up there too. And then finally, the short story Amalia. It's 5 pages long. And again, all of the reading material that I put in here is something you can download that you can then mark up online. I know some people like having physical books or printouts so they can get out their highlighter, get old school like this. There are ways to do that, of course, using all the different document applications like Microsoft Word, using Adobe. If you want other ways of being able to do that, let me know and I can show you some. Second part, I'm asking you to look at the last stop, and I'm asking you to share what you think are the best examples of naming, detailing, comparing, and dialoguing. So in other words, we're taking that same kind of skill set, that tool belt that we started with in Remembered Event, and we're pushing it forward here when we look at the last stop. We all know about funeral homes. Some of us have been in them before under, very sad situations. Some of us, when we're feeling more emo or goth, maybe we want to hang out there. But the point is, these 4 description strategies are what's going to make it pop. And I want you to be able to point them out because that gets you better at making them yourself. That pretty much sums it up for the week. If you've got any questions, of course, text me, email me through Canvas. We can find some time to meet and talk about these things. I hope you're all getting ready and fired up. We've got the Transfer Motivational Conference coming up soon. It's going to be awesome. We're going to meet Puentistas from all over SoCal. So get ready for that as well. Remember, it's going to be on October 15th. I'll talk to you soon, guys. Thanks for watching.